If you follow me on Instagram, then you already seen that these are up for review next. And right here we have Lexar ARES DDR5 RGB 2x16 gigs 6400 megahertz, and the visuals on these ones I actually really do enjoy, and they look quite nice. First of all, we have a matte, I think it's somewhat a grayish finish. It's not complete black, with some, of course, Lexar logo here, Aries here at the top, and a nicely diffused LED strip here on the top, which brings us to the point where recording and taking pictures of it, you'll most likely see individual LEDs, but placing them inside your PC, you won't be able to do so, and basically you're not going to watch your PC or check your PC with your camera or your phone or whatever. You're going to see them with the naked eye, and that's the important thing, where this diffused LED actually makes sense because of it. But we're not going to talk about RGB because we have loads of other stuff to discuss here, and let's start with main stuff. But yeah, we do have to mention this as well. Lexar ARES DDR5 RGB support, Asus Aura Sync RGB Fusion 2.0 by Gigabyte. Then we have MSI Mystic Lights and ASRock Polychron Sync. Now, you might be surprised on my motherboard, which I use ASRock B650 Taichi Lite. They're constantly going in RGB. The problem is that ASRock Polychron Sync doesn't play well with other RGB software, so that's the reason I couldn't get it to synchronize. Other than that, placing them on MSI motherboard or any other motherboards, for that fact, worked perfectly fine, so you don't have to worry about that. You just have to have a clean installation for ASRock Polychron Sync to be able to synchronize these into the colors. Well, basically any RGB RAMs, for that fact. Just to clarify that, it's not about the RAMs, it's about the software, so yeah. But visual aspect, perfect, nice, subtle, clean looking, slick, I would say. The only thing that is bugging me here, and I do have to mention this, these are most likely one of couple, if so, that have this sticker here on the right side. So when you place your memory modules like so, you're checking it out from this side, right? And you're seeing the sticker. Usually the sticker goes on the other side, but I tried to remove it and it is possible. I don't know if you void, yeah, it is. Warranty void if removed. So it's all up to you to decide if you're going to remove those stickers just to have more visual aspects, or you're going to stick to your warranty claim and not remove those. So yeah, but they are easily removed, just you're voiding the warranty. Now let's go into more details, because technical specifications are what you're after. It does lack AMD Expo because the main support here is for Intel XMP. Organization of memory module is symmetrical. Manufacturer is Hynix, A-die. Then we have die density and count 16 gigabits, Canopus 50 nanometers, one die. Composition is 2048 megabits times 8, 64 megabits times 8 times 32 banks. And basically it goes into those RAMs that I think they're quite solid when we're talking about performance. Shame they... I mean, I did test them on ASRock B650E Taichi Lite, but I had to use XMP instead of Expo to be able to run them at 6400 megahertz. Now, since I mentioned that 6400 megahertz, 2x16 gigs CL32, I was using AMD Ryzen 9 7900 X3D ASRock B650E Taichi Lite. Now, in that configuration, what we got is read speeds 77,628 megabytes per second, write speed 80,614 megabytes per second, copy 71,866 megabytes per second, and the latency is 75.3 nanoseconds. Now, if we go and check them out in Cinebench R23, where I get the possibility to compare them to some other 6400 megahertz RAMs, memory modules, the temperature on the CPU, even though it's not important in this scenario, but I do like to mention that. From 85 going towards 83, this was a 5 benchmark continuous test. Clock speed was a constant 4850 megahertz, and the score was running around 26,350 to 26,450, which is quite nice. Actually goes in pair with the Kingston Fury Renegade DDR5 RGB, so that's really good. Indigo benchmark, we have bedroom 3.547 million samples per second, and in supercar we have 7.861 million samples per second. Taking that in consideration, I don't see any oscillation when we're talking about performance comparing to other DDR5 memory in the same segment, so RGB DDR5, CL32, 64 megahertz of frequency, and I think they do work quite nicely. Unfortunately, I don't have 4 sticks to test them out because I really like testing out DDR5 with 4 sticks just to check when will that finally be possible and when the BIOS updates and all the other stuff, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't matter for this benchmark. The performance is there, so you don't have to worry about that. And it goes into the segment where these are more oriented in budget segment. So we get lower price but same performance, and this is really nice. And I do have to say, value goes really high, performance definitely, and the quality when we're talking about the passive heat sinks, for instance, because I had a couple of DDR5s that actually had the passive heat sinks falling off, specifically because either the thermal glue wasn't solid enough or it didn't stick properly, and that was the biggest issue. And as I said, good value when we're talking about performance per price ratio. It has limited overclocking headroom, and it, as I said, lacks EMD Expo support. Now, DRAM components is already stated it's Hynix, but I forgot to mention the package. So standard monolithic 82 ball FPGA. The die density, as you already know, I mentioned, and composition as well. The input clock frequency is 2800 megahertz, 0.357 nanoseconds. Supply voltage VDD 1.1 volts, VDD-Q 1.1 volts, and VPP 1.8 volts. For the SPD hub device, manufacturer is Montage Technology. Device type is SPD5118 with temperature sensor, and temperature accuracy is plus minus 0.5 degrees. And then we go to the memory module. Architecture DDR5 SDRAM UDIMM. Speed grade is DDR5 5600B. Capacity 18 gigabytes, 8 components. Organization is, as I already mentioned, symmetrical 2048 M times 64 1 rank, and PMIC model is basically unknown, but we have yet ID 0D85H. As a conclusion for these, I would say, as already mentioned in a couple of my Instagram posts regarding the Lexar ARES DDR5 RGB, they look quite nice, and with the lower, I would say they aren't that high profile when we're taking into consideration that they are RGB. So you might consider them for some tighter spots because they have a flat top surface, and you can most likely manage them with those hunk of air coolers. But if you go with those, then there's no need for RGB, right? But yeah. When we're talking about performance, it's there for the price without a doubt, and I'm really satisfied what these can achieve. Shame for the Expo, but then we have the XMP, which still works on the AMD motherboards, as you already saw and as I already presented to you. So yeah, big thumbs up to Lexar, finally doing a review on these ones, and you can check them out in the link in the description if you desire to place them inside your build. I know some of you guys already have them, and that you're satisfied because I got feedback on Instagram about that. So yeah, there's that. Guys, thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell for future content. Bye bye.